sometimes you just gotta let it out.
Let it out. And we are live, and hopefully everybody is unmuted and can hear us.
Welcome to the Horror House Podcast, people.
Jazz hands.
I'm not giving. I'm just doing jazz fingers today.
Oh. That seems dirty. I don't care for that. No more jazz fingers for this guy. But
no more jazz fingers.
You're the jazz fingers guy in the group. But welcome everybody. Get on in here.
My podcast career doesn't go out. I'm practicing my jazz toes under the table right now.
Oh, that is probably something you could use on another site. Probably make more money than the Horror House. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know what what I'm saying is I don't know what your toenails look like. Send me some toenail pictures later, and I'll let you know.
I'm not comfortable with that.
That's fair. That's fair. But if you want to, everybody, here's our social medias if you want to get in on that. And I don't have Jeff's flasher up there yet because I forgot. Jeff, what's your slasher? Just say it if you remember it.
I don't.
Just friend people named Jeff on Slasher, and you'll eventually get there.
It's something face, I think, isn't it?
Oh, Eyes Without a Face. That's a good movie.
It is a good movie.
That's a good title. Is it a Vincent Price movie?
No.
It's
French.
It's black and white. Oh, it could be. I mean, all black and white movies could be Vincent Price.
I think it was in this.
You just described how I watch black and white movies. I'm like, where's Vincent Price? I guess he comes in later.
Is it French? Is it French? It's on the Shutters. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, really? Has there been any good new Shutter stuff lately?
Baskin guy tried to turn me on to one called You'll Never Find Me. So I did watch it, and it was not Baskin guy material. I told him I was severely let down.
This is the face of Dave. If Dave goes missing, I'm looking at you, Baskin guy. You're my first suspect. Me and Jeff coming for your ass. No, we're not. No, we're not. We'll let the authorities do their work.
Yeah. If I go missing, tell them I back the blue.
But tonight, we are talking about Last Night in Soho from 2021. But first, I wouldn't say always, because we just started doing it like a month ago. Let's talk about some horror news. As the people, one at a time, everybody, single file, as you come into the room. Not too many at once. But let's talk some horror news. Dave, what do you got first?
I start with some M. Night Shyamalan news. So he had an interview, and he was talking about his movie that comes out later this year, August 8th, 9th. I just said this, and I already don't know. But start of August, he's got a movie coming out starring the talented Josh Hartnett called Trap. And I'm sure that there's going to be a twist in the twist. Because he, in the interview, gave away the twist of the movie. The premise of the movie is
Josh Hartnett's a transvestite.
Josh Hartnett and his daughter go to a concert. It might be Jelly Roll, Morgan Whalen, I don't know. They go to a concert. He goes to the bathroom, and he starts noticing, everything's real suspicious, so he starts talking to one of the merch vendors. And the merch vendor tells him, oh, yeah, I'm not supposed to tell anybody this. That serial killer that's been operating that they called the Butcher? This whole concert is really fake to try to catch the Butcher. And we don't know who he is, but we know he's in attendance tonight. And Josh Hartnett's like, wow, that's kind of fucked up. Then he goes to the bathroom and pulls out his phone because he's the fucking Butcher. And he's got to find his way out of the concert with his daughter without getting caught and snared in the trap.
Oh,
Oh,
M. Night. I don't
you're
even
doing
know.
too much.
I don't even know what to. I don't have words really.
I can't wait for the twist to be like makes it out of the concert and then realizes it's not really a concert, it's an alien ship, and he's on his way to Mars. Ah! And
I
they're all
hope.
dead.
I hope they
Ah!
brought back some of the actors from Old. All those great actors in Old. Remember them? I'm joking.
That was a long time ago. They're all old now.
I did not care for Old.
With this, he went to the beer garden and bought a Coors Light, and it was really a Budweiser. Ah!
Oh, you know what? It could have been somebody spiked his beer while he wasn't looking, and then it's a whole like reverse thing because M. Night's really. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this. Like a lot of M. Night's stories until the twist, and then he knows where he's going, and then the movie ends, and then we're like, why did I watch this?
One of his daughters has a movie coming out this year too. The Watchers, his oldest daughter, and that actually looks really good. The vibe looks creepy. The trailer looks good. So
Okay.
I'm in on that. But
We shall see. Are we just so old now that we have to rely on the offspring of the directors of like our time now? It's like Brandon Cronenberg, M. Night. Uh, what's the girl version of a junior? Is there such a thing as a girl named after their father and is a junior, like Roseanne
yeah,
Junior or their mother?
I say it was
I,
probably the mother.
The mother, but
I
like,
no, I know a lady. Of course, we work in healthcare and older generations. I know a lady who was named Junior after her mom. So she was named Junior after her mom, and she's like, it really pissed my dad off, which was great. He was a fucking asshole. And
you've told me this before. Have I thought about
yes,
women being named Junior before? I feel like that is a thing we've talked about.
I believe probably so. I talk a lot, so
uh, damn. Well, anyways, bunch of remake stuff. Not a bunch, but enough. CinemaCon doesn't have to do with remakes. I had it before my remake stuff, so forget I said anything about remakes. We'll get back to that. But CinemaCon, they showed Eggers' Nosferatu, which they said looked really cool. I don't know if it was a trailer or what they showed, but there was a teaser trailer for Wolfman, which we just talked about a few weeks ago. How the fuck is there a teaser trailer for that already? When we talked about it, the news I got, it had just started filming, and it's been like maybe 3 weeks.
he went out Monday and filmed the clips, and that's the teaser trailer.
Dude, with a howl faint off in the distance.
Here you go.
Kill it. That would kill it. But then the apocalypse Christians that get super bent out of shape over these kinds of things that never turn out to be what they think would be like, this is blasphemous. You can't do this. Even though what they're kind of doing is blasphemous. Just saying, just don't come after me. Don't come after me. And they confirmed
That's true.
They confirmed sequels for M3 Gangan and Five Nights at Freddy's. We're not talking about the doll this week, but there are sequels coming next year.
I did hear that. A remake. Blumhouse doing a remake of the Blair Witch Project.
That was. Who's
That hurt
buying
you in your
this?
soul? Did that hurt you in your soul, Chris?
No. It's like a slight annoying breeze at this point. But they're with Lionsgate. They're teaming up with Lionsgate, and they're going to be remaking some of Lionsgate's horror properties. So, which I don't think Blumhouse is in on these, but they're already doing that with The Crow and The Strangers. So prepare for American Psycho reboot, a Saw reboot, a Twilight reboot, and a Midnight Train reboot.
We
I
need
guess.
a Twilight reboot. That's the one I'm like, I don't know.
None of these are official. I'm making news. I'm making fake news.
They're already rebooting the Borderlands, I heard.
I,
I'm just kidding. It's not even, no, okay. I'm just kidding.
I'm gonna pirate the shit out of that movie. It looks like booty. And a new scary movie's coming this fall, or starts shooting this fall. So Lionsgate wants some money, so all their old movies better pay up, and Paramount and Miramax wants a movie, so scary movie better pay up. We're in an era of new remakes coming out in the next couple of years.
Yeah, it always sucks because I feel like we had finally gotten out of that shit, and everything was more original shit, and then now now the 10 years have gone, we can put out new shit because people's attention span is so short. God damn it, people, quit being idiots.
Remake that you know what I would like to see honestly remade is like if a person that cared about it and wanted to make a better version of it is Prince of Darkness, Carpenter's Prince of Darkness from the 80s. I'll do it. You know what? I'll do it. Call me.
But it had Donald Pleasance and Alice Cooper.
Are you gonna have time?
What was that, Jeff?
But it has Donald Pleasance in it, right?
Yeah.
And Alice Cooper. So
yeah.
We couldn't get much better than that.
We can bring Alice Cooper back.
Thank you.
We can do that much at least.
CGI Donald Pleasance in.
I mean, which Halloween Kills? Ends? Dies? One of those did that. And that was the best part of the movie. I'm like, Donald Pleasance.
I think we should put a permanent ban on the word Halloween Ends. The Corey movie.
Evil Dies. That's what we should put a ban on. Evil Dies tonight.
Are you going to have time to do a reboot of Prince of Darkness while we're working on the Nightbreed TV series?
Yeah. My true passion is the Blob remake that they've not called me about yet.
Just waiting, just hanging on.
Someday. I've wrote 475,000 pages of a treatment if they would just contact me. It's an epic. I'm thinking like, you know how you have limited series on HBO? I'm thinking about like the opposite of that, where it goes on for like 20 or 30 years.
All of season 3 is a touching romance story involved the Blob and a love triangle.
Yeah, I have a Lady in the Tramp scene with the Blob in a trash bag where they're not sure about each other, but then
there's like 24 episodes a season, but like 22 episodes are about nothing else about what the show is.
Every now and then we'll just have an episode of the Blob just going down the street, and we'll play the music from The Incredible Hulk, whatever that classic piece was. Yeah. Like maybe we'll have a because you don't get that in TV shows where somebody's a good guy and then turns bad several times, especially the bad guy. We'll turn the Blob good. Maybe he'll save a dog or something, and then that's a good place for that music at the end of that episode. But then the next episode, he'll immediately eat the dog he saved. Because it turns out he wasn't trying to save it. He was trying to eat it, and he just wanted to do it on his time.
He was saving it for later.
Yes.
I'm not saving the dog. I'm saving it for later.
Speaking of saving for later, that doesn't work here. And speaking of Edgar Wright, who we're going to be talking about, did you know that he is rebooting Stephen King's The Running Man? Because I did not.
I did not, but I just watched The Running Man last week. So.
I love the original Running Man. It is high cheese, and it's great.
It is fantastic. It is fantastic.
I have no other news other than that headline. Somebody from the Top Gun Maverick is in it as in Arnold's kind of spot. I don't know.
Tom Cruise?
No, his name's like not Tom Cruise.
We were watching.
Oh, love the actor, not Tom Cruise.
I can't remember what we were watching. We were watching something the other day, and it featured a young lady, and she was just running her fucking tits off. And I said, "Man, she's really Tom Cruise in it, isn't she?"
Oh.
So I don't even know what it was. That's
that rigid running where he's like, yeah. I'm like, I believe you're fast, but the way you go about it stresses me out a little bit, sir. Nobody runs that
His
way.
limbs move quickly, but the fact that he's only 2.5 feet tall means he doesn't cover much ground. Don't strike me down, Scientology Jesus.
And finally, well, Dave, Maxine with 3X's trailer. Give us your Ty West talk.
Uh, I'm going to bring up Ty West later tonight as well, but Ty West, the Maxine series trilogy, culminating with Max Triple Xine. Um,
That was a mouthful.
I like him, and he captures the period of these movies so well, and the trailer really. I'm kind of confused. I'm not sure. Like, I'm not. I don't know. If confused is the right word. I don't know where it's going to go. Like, it is Maxine killing people. I mean, supposedly the Night Stalkers run around Hollywood at the same time.
Yeah, that was interesting. I don't know what that
So I
means.
don't know like what's going on, but I'm certainly there for the ride. And I mean, I got a special place in my heart for me, Goth, right about here, right next to the cholesterol. Um, so it's all good. I'm in. I'm in. I'm in. You son of a bitch. I'm in.
I
Oh, Ty West could be like, I filmed 2 hours of Mia Goth eating footlong corn dogs. Like, you son of a bitch. I'm in.
You didn't have to say you were in. I already knew you were.
Man, she's so fucking crazy. It's like God.
She was
I
the
don't. I
best
wouldn't.
part of Infinity Pool. She was just the crazy glue of Infinity Pool.
That fucking laugh of
Yeah, you
hers.
little baby. I'm like, if I was in that situation, I would jump off a mountain to not be in that situation.
Yes.
And I'm afraid of heights more than anything. So I
I
just be
would
like,
be.
man, better
I
than
would have
this.
been begging for her to shoot me at some point. She's so fucking crazy.
What was the? So X was the first one. Pearl
Yeah.
is the second one. Have you
Girl.
watched Pearl?
Me?
Sorry,
This
I'm talking to Jeff. Sorry,
fucking podcast to be over. I've watched fucking Pearl.
Damn.
I didn't like X. Honestly, there was missed potential for me at watching X,
I do feel like there was some missed potential here.
and so I had not watched Pearl.
I liked Pearl better. Um,
Fool me
and
once, shame on me. Fool me twice, you're Ty West. Fool me three times, you're Ty West with Mia Goth beside him.
yeah, I don't care. I'm fucking in. When she fucks the fucking scarecrow, she's so fucking crazy. Mia Goth is so crazy. I
She's
would watch
like,
her in a library. If they
you'd
just
watch her in a
secretly filmed
library?
her, they were secretly filming her go to a public library in real life, I'd be glued to the screen like, this crazy bitch gonna do next? Is she gonna do something? This bitch is crazy. I don't feel like she's a good actress. I feel like she's really crazy. She's unhinged. She's dangerous.
There
And
may
that's
be,
what's
I mean,
provocative.
there may be truth to that. You gotta have truth in your art, right? So, any other news we want to talk about? Give our thoughts on?
I'd want to bring up just one piece of sad news. Not
All
really.
right.
Not really. I'm not really saddened by it. O.J. Simpson has died. Um, O.J., who allegedly was almost the Terminator. So, and until it finally went to Arnold Schwarzenegger. Spoiler alert: the legend I have heard. Apparently James Cameron now is telling people like, no, that's not true. We were never. Yeah, after he fucking murdered his wife and then now you want to separate yourself from him. But at the time, the biggest reason I feel like OJ didn't get Terminator is typecasting. If we remember back
Um,
to the mid '80s, like O.J. Simpson was seen as like the all American nice guy. I can't imagine O.J. Simpson as a merciless killing machine. He would never hurt a fly.
the 80s.
So,
Such an innocent time.
oh my gosh, you know,
Was he Nordberg yet by the time the first Terminator had come out?
think so. When did Final Gun?
Naked Gun?
Naked Gun? Naked Gun?
Dave, Jesus Christ. The Final Gun? That's a cool name, though.
Final Gun.
The final insult.
Oh, Naked Gun from the Files of Police Squad came out in '88, and Terminator was
Oh,
'84.
84? Are we right?
I think that must be it. We both said '84. So
It felt right. Yep.
oh.
Okay.
Yeah. So this was before Nordberg. So uh, uh,
Couldn't have
he
happened to a nicer
also
OJ.
I think sometimes because I do watch, I do like my sports, especially my football, and whenever you see top 10 lists of like the best running backs of all time, I think it's because of the murder, because he did it. I can say that now because he's dead and not coming for me.
I think you could say it before he
But
was dead, too. I mean,
some people, yeah, I wasn't afraid of OJ. OJ is, to be honest, OJ is the worst of the breakfast juices. I'm just gonna say it.
what
Give me
other.
some give me some cran apple any day. Um, it's not the worst. Grapefruit's the worst. Grapefruit is trash. But anyway, back to OJ. He really was the best running back in the league for a healthy period. This dude was a fucking a man among boys when he was playing running back in the NFL.
Okay.
And when he got out of the NFL, he was kind of shunned by the black community for a while because he was seen a little bit as an Uncle Tom. So, uh,
Oh.
yeah, so all in all, while I really, I think the important thing is just to say OJ's dead, no great loss, fucking. He was almost Terminator.
We're on board live with Jeff. It feels like a found footage film right now.
My computer's dying.
Oh, no.
Oh, curse.
But right about now is where we will give everybody one last chance. This is your last chance. From here on to the end, we're going to be talking spoilers about Last Night in Soho. So get out, go watch it, watch the replay next couple weeks,
Yeah,
and
and we're
then
talking 3 years, so I feel like this is important to say. Spoiler alert: there's a lot going on in the last 3 years. A lot of people may not have had a chance to watch this, so I won't actually make fun of you if you haven't had a chance to see this shit.
but Dave, why don't you give us a brief rundown of what this movie does?
All
Is
right. Uh, London countryside girl dreams of being a fashion designer in the big city, and she listens to all her mom's cool '60s albums. And she gets her chance. She goes to fashion school in London, and she is haunted by visions of ghosts. Then Calamity and neither. What's more likely to get you stoked for a movie? An actor you like or a filmmaker you like?
Both.
I don't know. Cronenberg just don't make that many movies anymore, so I'm gonna say
Right.
I don't know.
Okay, Jeff. What about you? Are you more likely to be in on a movie that has an actor you like, or because it is made by a filmmaker you like?
Ah, it really could go both. I mean, it because yeah, really both. Because yeah, because you just get a good director, and like Edgar Wright, and like all their movies are like different from everybody else's. It's not he's directing it; he's creating everything when he directs movies. It's his vision. And then actors, I'd watch anything with Vincent Price in it. So it's like, to me that was a draw for a lot of movies. So
Who would be that now? What actor would be that now for you?
Jim Caviezel.
You mean Jesus Caviezel, Chris?
Jesus Caviezel? If that's not the name of a documentary that somebody puts together, that is a missed opportunity. Haley says, oh, she's not seen it. It was much better than Jeff's last pick. Jeff, thoughts, opinions? We'll cut to a solo Jeff.
Shots fired.
Shots fired.
Cries now, yeah.
Oh. Haley, you made Jeff cry.
Vibes gave me the anxieties for how to pronounce everything.
It was on the Rolling Stones top 101 films. It was number 101.
Was the sequel on there? Was Vibes
No.
Rides again? What did you think of the acting in this movie? Overall, up top to bottom, single somebody out. I'll single a couple people out here in a minute.
I think Matt Smith is a great actor. I really like Anna Taylor-Joy. Really, if somebody let me down, it was Thomason. It was the part I had was the fucking
nailed it.
Accent. That was a little rough on the ears a couple times.
As it went on, she became so grating to me. I would have rather took up fashion design myself and become proficient at it than get through this movie. She was rough on me. And it
didn't help that she was so whiny. The character was so whiny. I know she's going through a lot, but
is she?
I'd rather see her stand up and be stronger.
And then Michael Adjaho plays John, her love interest. I mean, he wants to be her love interest, but she's kind of weird about it for a good portion of the movie. I also didn't care much for the way he went about his acting. It was those two in particular. Everybody else was pretty okay. But God, as it went on, she just was wearing me out. I'm like, lady, you may die. Okay, I don't know how this is gonna play out. You could die, but like, why you got to be the way you are right now? Just you're at 11. I need you at least to come back down to an 8. You're too much.
Take it down.
But that was
I do agree. He was not that great of an actor. He just seemed like a nice enough guy, but it just didn't seem very sincere to me.
Maybe that's what it was.
I think it was Attack the Block is great, and that's where he got his start. And so
I need to watch that.
That was good.
So I think that's.
Isn't John Boyega in that? The Finn from Star Wars? Attack the Block? Was that what he was in?
Was he in that? Okay. I'll say okay. I don't know.
I thought okay.
Yeah.
But this another thing that I thought was interesting about this movie was, so Matt Smith has a very unique face, to put it nicely. Yes. But Anya Joy Taylor also has a unique kind of face. And it got me thinking, because I was like, he really fits in this kind of 60s piece way more than he visually fit in this like modern time Doctor Who kind of stuff that he's been in. I've not seen Morbius, but I've seen a bunch of Doctor Who. But it got me thinking about period pieces.
Yes, okay, I know my next pick is going to be Morbius. So go on, proceed.
You're banned. Ban Morbius in the chat.
Just kidding. No Morbius. No Morbid time.
The you know how they do the period pieces, Ty West. We just talked about Ty West, and he gets a lot of details right. They don't really seem to cast actors with their appearance as a part of that time piece. But in this, I feel like, I don't know if it was, but it certainly worked, and they looked like they did belong in the 60s. So that would be something that would be interesting for a period piece, to try to cast actors that looked like they belonged in that time, instead of just like, here's the fucking kid that played Corey from Halloween Ends.
You know, Matt Smith would be really good in a Dick Tracy reboot. He's
Hammerhead? Is
got
that what
that.
you're going for?
Dick
I think
Tracy.
Dick Tracy. I think he's got the face to
Wow.
be a Dick Tracy. I mean,
The face of a dick.
Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah, that could work.
so
No,
I did. I didn't care for the Warren Beatty Madonna Dick Tracy. By the way, what's up?
I don't know if I've ever watched the whole thing.
Many years.
It's been a
It's
hot
been a
minute.
long minute.
Al Pacino in that one.
Was Al Pacino in that?
Oh, it's been so long since I watched it, and I was not impressed. So yeah,
I didn't know Madonna was in it till years after it had came out. I'm like, she was in that?
she had to be in it. That's when her and Warren Beatty kind of got hooked up, right?
Was that a thing?
For a minute.
I didn't know.
Al Pacino, um, and other people. Michael Gallup, wide receiver for the New York Giants, and now the Dallas Cowboys. No, I'm not that Michael Gallup. I'm just kidding. Gotcha.
What'd you think about the story? How'd you feel?
I like the story. I like the story. It might have been a little disappointing to me because it's not what I expected from the trailer.
What did you expect
And
from the
sometimes
trailer?
that's okay. Sometimes I wanted more. I really thought, just based on the trailer, that Anna Taylor Joy's ghost was trying to take over Thomas and Mackenzie's body and trying to do a non-consensual ghost move. And so that's where I thought it was going,
I see.
and it did not. So should I be upset because it didn't go where I thought it was going? No, no, I probably shouldn't be. But I think that would have been a cool way to go. Could have had more ghosties. Could have had more ghosties. Could have had more scare.
It
So
was light on the horror for
the
the
horror,
first half, at least.
yeah, that would actually be my biggest complaint is that it's actually pretty light on horror. I could have had more. I could have seen more of that. But
Jeff, how'd you feel about the story?
Oh, I love the story. It was good. I mean, I agree. Like, it was really light on horror till like the very end of the film. But I mean, it does good keep you drawn in and entertained. It's not like, oh my god, let's just hurry up with this.
The So we talked about, like, not a lot of horror till it starts to pop off, but I was I felt like it was too long. It was almost 2 hours long, and everything they showed. This is the Chris Wright's negative, but I'm like, this could have been an hour 30 minutes, and you'd have the same story for me, because I mean, everything they show is just so long or not enough. So they needed to show more of the cop that Eloise kills, which there's no repercussions for, I guess. I don't know. And her whole mental health issue that she has, that they let us know she has a few good times, I never really, we never get anywhere with it. Like I mean, you start thinking like, is she being a crazy girl? Is this, what is this? And then by the end, it's just like a happy ending. But then the mirror stuff and her mom, and then Sandy, and then you're like, I don't, I didn't love the ending. It felt a little cheesy, cornball-y ending, like happy ending. I wasn't super into that. Uh, Plus, her grandma and her boyfriend just being like, "You did it! You're such a good girl!" And I'm like,
everything at the end.
Uh,
I didn't
Dun
mind the
dun
length.
dun, and then
I didn't mind the
ding.
length. 2 hours was fine for me, especially Edgar Wright's filmmaking. The length is fine for me, but I wanted to add more horror, pack more of the scary stuff. You're not wrong. Give me more of the is this real or is she just crazy? Because it didn't really feel to me. It didn't really feel like was even the possibility that this was fake. Like this was just in her head. But you could
Yeah,
have played that up a little bit more
yeah.
and
At
make you
least to
wonder a little bit
start.
longer.
I mean, why
Yeah.
was it even? It didn't even need to be a story part, unless just for the ending. Boop. But the Edgar Wright thing, like you were talking about, like stylistically, like it's Edgar Wright. I didn't like the stair crawl sequence at the end. That just looked. I would have redone that. That didn't live up to Edgar Wright for me. That whole like last little bit. The fire and stuff was cool. Like her sitting in the fire, like this is fine. But
Felt like it was out of place
it
because
it
all of a
didn't work
sudden,
for
like,
me.
yeah, all of a sudden it's not 60s and it's not modern, and that's the only two time periods you have. Now all of a sudden it's like
Dream
ultra futuristic
class.
CGI, and yeah, and so
Maybe that's what it was. Too much CGI for that. You might be right.
yeah, I think it was over ambitious. It could have been toned down a little bit. Was it rushed or what was going on? Was this an add-on? I don't know. I'd like to know.
I didn't. Yeah, but the story and the length are really my and Thomason's acting, overacting. Lord, lady, I'm gonna have to contact your agent. But that's my negatives. What'd you think of the soundtrack? Talk about the '60s music.
If you want to start this one?
oh, I like the music in it. It was good.
I thought it was great. I love the use of pop music here. So um, Edgar Wright does this so well. I mentioned Baby Driver. Did you guys watch the YouTube video I sent
Yes,
where
that was good.
he kind of breaks down a scene from each of his movies? And Baby Driver is so good because every scene is set to music and starts from there. And this doesn't quite reach that level. But I still feel like it was really good use of music, of popular music. Those '60s soundtracks and how they match up with the movement that's going on screen, the camera movement, the lighting, the themes of the movies matching up with music is just great, great. I was in on all that. What about you, Chris?
The '60s music was. I gotta be in a mood for certain types of music, and I was not in the '60s frame of mind, so it wasn't connecting. And by the end of it, I'm like, get me out of the '60s. But that said, he does the soundtracks and stuff. Scott Pilgrim is one of my favorite movies, and what he did with that was super cool. So
Scott Pilgrim is such a good movie. You forget that Knives Chow, the character in the movie, is like 15 years old, and the whole 20-year-old band is banging the crap out of her. So you kind of forget that because the movie's so good, but
just Scott,
it's problematic.
just Scott. That's this the goal of the movie,
Oh,
Dave.
I think is the comic they pass her around a little bit. I mean,
I've never read the comic actually.
um, but Scott Pilgrim, so he wrote the original script, Ant-Man script, right? And then before he
Hmm.
got booted off of that, which it doesn't quite use music to the level of this or that or or Baby Driver.
No, no Marvel kind of stuff ever does, do they? Is that just like a money
Yeah,
thing, you guys?
I think they always
Well,
pick
Guardians, I
like
guess.
yeah, and a little bit, not to the same level though. They'll put some popular music in.
Right.
It's not like things are tied and filmed around the beats of the music. Usually, Guardian being the example. Yeah, I agree. But Shaun of the Dead with the Queen song in the bar at the end. Don't stop me now. That's uh, Chef's Kiss.
Maybe never will be
Shaun of
topped.
Yeah, Shaun of the Dead is great. The whole Cornetto trilogy. I love the Cornetto trilogy. Um, I was slower to come around on World's End,
I still haven't watched that one.
so but I do like World's End very much now. I took me a minute to kind of get there. I still don't think it's quite as good as Shaun. Shaun is really really good. Um, so
I don't think we have done Shaun of the Dead yet, by the way, which is
we
crazy.
I didn't believe we had. Yeah,
Um,
we were saving it for Jeff.
I guess so. I guess so. Um,
Oh, why we're talking about music before we move too far? I got a question for you guys. What, in your opinion, is some of the best uses of pop music in movies? And it can be horror, it can not be horror. I made a little list. I will say I kicked it off with Bell Bottoms from Baby Driver. And then I got a couple movies that or scenes that are horror related that popular music really really sets the scenes off. So,
so are we talking about a particular song? Is that
whatever works. Give me a movie or give me a song or a scene in popular movies where popular music just hits just right.
for me?
Unchained Melody Ghost.
There you go. There you go. My pick would be "Burn the Flames" by Rocky Erickson from Return of the Living Dead when he's putting himself in the crematorium. I don't know
Nice.
that that's a popular song though, so I don't know that that works. But
I don't think popular and pop are really the same. When we say pop, I know it's short for popular, but I think it just means more secular. It still is not a good description because movies are
I
not religion unless
the
you're unless you're right with God. Uh,
honestly, all of Return of the Living Dead would be my pick because every song in that is it fits. Not Edgar Wright fits, but that one does. Burn in the Flames. I love it.
yeah.
I could
I
operate that
the,
goddamn thing. He does.
well, my short list. I said tiptoe through the tulips in Insidious. It's not the beat for beat where it's beating with the music, but it's so creepy. It really brings the vibe in a hurry when they're playing that version of Tiptoe Through the Tulips. And my favorite, um, I'd say my second favorite Final Destination, Roller Coaster, and the roller coaster song on in that scene just really gets me. It's such an upbeat song, roller coaster, ooh, ooh, and it does hit some of those beats, and maybe that's just my, I did too much drugs in the '60s brain, but I think that's really good. The other one that I wanted to bring up, remember the claymation scene in Better Off Dead where they're playing Van Halen, Everybody Wants Some?
Oh,
That instantly like turned that into a horror movie to me. Like everybody, the burger is singing "Everybody Wants Some." Yeah, you're gonna die. You're gonna die, man, because everybody wants a tasty cheeseburger.
if you listen to the isolated vocal on that, you don't even have to listen to the isolated vocal of David Lee Roth. You can listen to the song, but look up the lyrics. He is just drunk gibberish, and it's kind of scary. So that just plays into the
I'm
better
with
off
it.
to.
I'm with it.
I feel like there's something I'm missing. I'm trying to look through my movies to see if something reaches out to me.
I like the beginning for Get Out with Run Rabbit Run. That
Yeah.
kind of
Oh,
has that
the
creepy sound, old timey music.
yeah.
But then it's just kind of like, oh,
Jordan Peele's really good with that too. What was the song
yeah.
from Us?
5 on it. I
That
got 5 on it.
that was a good one too.
So with that endo weed, I got 5 on it.
What
Roll, let's go half on a sack.
I'm really just trying to find a good Cronenberg one to use, but I don't think he listens to music. That doesn't seem Cronenbergy.
How about a movie that's full of music? Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Oh,
I have
oh!
to look over it because it's sitting on the shelf staring at me, waiting for Christmas next year.
I've got one, and we've talked about it on the show. Shocker! That whole movie
Okay.
is '80s hair metal
Yep.
to the extreme, and I still have the soundtrack because it's got a lot of Kiss reference stuff on it. And Megadeth and Alice Cooper is also
Yeah.
on there, and Megadeth covering Alice Cooper. Was that one? Yeah, was the Shocker? That was Shocker. I'm having a moment. Okay. Anyways, you want to do Shocker again?
I can talk Shocker. I can talk some Shocker.
Nick Clegg is awesome in that.
So a follow-up question: what '80s sitcom theme song would best work in your horror movie masterpiece?
Oh shit. Do you have one already? Because I think me and Jeff are gonna need a minute.
Um, I, I think
In a movie that we're making, is that what you're saying? Like we're
yeah,
making
we're making a movie. If we're making a movie,
okay,
what
okay.
'80s theme song are you putting in?
From a TV
I'm
show
thinking
theme
maybe
song.
I'm thinking maybe Who's the Boss? I'm thinking maybe the Who's the Boss theme song, and that could be the whole thing. Is that this dude is just he's angry and he's got his victims chained up and tortured, and he's like let me quick Google some Who's the Boss theme song lyrics.
Now this is for your movie that you're gonna put together. This is like, is this? I'm slightly confused. Is what I'm trying to say.
There's a time for love and a time for living. You take the chance. You face the wind. An open road and a road that's hidden. Brand new life around the bend. There were times when I lost a dream or two. Down the trail and at the end was you. Is that scary enough? No, I mean.
That was. I think we need to start a second podcast where we just do like slam poetry versions of theme song lyrics. So explain the movie aspect of this to me because I'm trying to piece it together properly.
I was thinking that and granted, I was incorrect. I see that now. I sure thought the theme song for Who's the Boss would say Who's the Boss a lot more than it did. So I just want my maniac being like, Who's the boss? Who's the boss?
That's what your punk version's going to have to be that you put together. Your redone version is what's going to really sell it.
Oh, that's a good one.
I hope you hire a professional.
So
He can have a whole busload of cheerleaders, and he's just menacingly like walking up and down the boss, like, okay, I'm your Angela, bitches.
Oh shit! Hold on.
Okay, what are we holding on for?
I'm trying to look up lyrics to see if these actually fit for my Blob Mega Saga.
Okay. Oh, nice.
uh, kind of fits, especially with some of the themes that I want to cover in it. Jeff, do you have an idea for yours yet?
I would just go with the theme song for Bosom Buddies, "My Life" by Billy Joel.
Sing a bar or two.
I'm not gonna sing.
Oh, come on, Jeff.
Nobody wants to hear that.
Or slam poetry like Dave.
Slam poetry.
I don't know Bosom Buddies all that well. I know the basic premise, but I don't know that I know the theme song.
Two guys want to find an apartment, but they can't find one, so they have to dress up like women to live in an all women's like apartment.
And it's Tom Hanks, right?
Yeah, Tom Hanks and Peter Scolari.
Okay, explain your movie to me a little bit. Get me in the mindset for the Bosom Buddies theme song to fit with the movie.
I don't have the movie. I was just...
Oh. Well, you've got a starting point now.
I don't want you to tell me it's time to come home. I don't care what you say anymore. This is my life. Go ahead with your own life. Leave me alone.
Jeff's gonna remake The Stepfather, and that would be the.
There you go.
It could work. So I'm thinking for my Blob Mega Saga coming to Freevee in 30 or 40 years.
Not Tubi?
I got a feeling Freevee's gonna really bounce back. I think I'm gonna go with the Perfect Strangers theme song. So you got to put yourself in mind of the Blob, who's lonely and he's kind of out there on his own, right? So sometimes the world looks perfect, nothing to rearrange. Sometimes you just get a feeling like you need some kind of change. And then the Blob's just rolling down the street, right? Like maybe he's got some sticks in him he can't get out. He ain't got hands. Blob ain't have hands. And no matter what the odds are this time, nothing's going to stand in the Blob's way. This flame in his heart and long lost friend, he don't have any friends. Blob don't have friends. He don't have hands.
In the 80s, didn't he have tentacles though?
He did have tentacles.
Kind of hands?
He did have tentacles. But it was that or the Night Court theme song. I may use both.
Go wrong with Night
I
Court.
feel like I'm totally not quite on the mark on this, Dave, with your question, but that's where I'm sitting.
I mean, you guys have done a lot not knowing that this was. So.
With what, not what?
I give you a lot of credit. Not knowing that this question was coming.
Oh.
Yeah, my two choices were what the other one Chris said, Perfect Strangers. That's the only things I could think of as Perfect Strangers and Bosom Buddies.
How could you not think? I was trying to look up the lyrics for Perfect Strangers, and I just typed in Perfect Strangers lyrics, and I forgot that was a whole Deep Purple album. And it's like, Deep Purple, Perfect Strangers. I'm like, that's not quite what I'm looking for. Well, are we ready for our overall opinions on this? Because I think you may unfriend me on social media. Speaking of which,
hit us up. Let us know what you think. We're looking for feedback. Hit us on the Twitters at Sweetness1, at Horror House 2, and Sweetness1 has 6 E's, by the way. Horror House 2. Hit us on the Slasher, Horror House Dave, Horror House Chris, with no eyes. Send us an email, horrorhousepodcast@gmail.com. We got a Facebook Horror House Podcast page on the Facebook. You run
I forgot
a room if you do all the socials. Yeah. There we go. Great one. I get Chris's or Jeff's added in there.
Yeah, I'll send it to him. I didn't get on that.
It's the wall of bullshit. We've not done it in a minute. I kind of forgot about it last week. But let's just run down the well, I'll go first because I know I'll set us off onto a negative that you both will raise into a positive. So I'm really hurting the average of this one. I'm really, really hurting the average of this movie. I'm just letting it be known beforehand.
You can say anything that's true.
Hold on. Oh,
Got to get the liquid courage.
I wasn't that into the story. We've went over my annoyances. A couple performances wasn't my thing. The '60s soundtrack wasn't really my thing. But it looked good until that stairs part. There's cool things to look at. The reveal, the twist wasn't my favorite. Matt Smith has a weird odd head. Can you hear that motorcycle? Jesus Christ. Don't you have somewhere to be? I'm trying to give my opinion on the internet.
It's important.
Uh,
The internet need to know.
yes. We have to post this on the YouTubes next. But I've not seen everything Edgar Wright's done. I've seen there's a lot I've not seen. I shouldn't have taken a big drink of beer and then tried to speak a bunch. But this isn't one of my favorites that I've seen of his. It just didn't, and like we said, the horror didn't really even start till so much later. But it didn't feel like a slow burn. It just felt like too long to me.
I saw somebody recently was talking about that and said your movies aren't really slow burns. They're either interesting or they're not. Oh.
I'll say I'm right there with this one. 3.5.
Wow.
I knew I
Got the calculations.
I went up a half a point before we started the podcast tonight. I had a rough time getting through this one.
Okay.
Jeff, why don't you go next? Raise that 3.5 up to a 4. Maybe a 5.
No, I really love the movie. I mean, he spends so much time getting you into the two different time periods and like just the like kind of the romance of the whole time period, and then he just kind of slams it with like, well, this is how it looks, and then not how it was at all. She didn't get the job that she wanted to get, and she just became this other person completely, and you just go through this whole story of like, oh no, this tragic story of this girl, and then it's just this completely other story. I mean, it takes you on a roller coaster through that, and then hits you with ghost zombies and this, which was like the best. I mean, like she can only see these ghosts coming out of the ground, but yeah, I really enjoyed the music. Thought it was great. So pretty much everything that you didn't like about it's what I loved about it.
That's fair.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about, Jeff.
If you had to put a number on it, what number would you put?
I'd give it an 8. I
An
mean,
8 out of 10.
Edgar Wright, he's good. He really gets you involved in the story and then the actors and stuff.
Okay. Dave?
Okay, so I agree. One, Edgar Wright is stylistically one of the best filmmakers active right now. And we got a new, like, we've had a turning of the guard, right? Wes Craven, O.G. Cronenberg. We've moved on. Carpenter's around, but we've mostly moved on. And the future is in good hands, man. Edgar Wright, which I know he's not all horror.
Yeah.
As a filmmaker, I think this is a guy that I would watch non-horror movies that he did just because I want to see what he does. He's got style. He's not just filming a story. The media is the message.
Yeah.
To tie back to an old
You're trying to fuck with me. You're trying to make me raise my score.
I'm tying it back to the Cronenberg anthology episode that Chris did so much research for.
What's that?
He has a style. It's not just the story. So when things fall flat, if the story falls flat, if the acting falls a little bit flat, the things he tells, the visuals, they're so entertaining. And I still stand by. That's the most important thing that any of these movies can do is entertain. Um, Hot Fuzz. He did a segment in Grindhouse. Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Shaun of the Dead, The World's End. Baby Driver is so good. Last Night in Soho. I wish he had got a chance to and finish his Ant-Man. How much would what would it look like? The quantum realm shit. If he came back now, if they could pull him in now and do a movie in the quantum realm, like it would be so visually stunning. I think it would be great. This movie is that it's Edgar Wright's style. It's music. It's a love story. I loved that YouTube video I sent you guys where he breaks down video scenes from different movies because one that was so interesting to me that the dance when the girls are popping up that was all practical except for the first part that was a cut but that it was not a timed moving camera on a rig. It was done with a handheld and done so perfectly. Everything looks so good. The dude is an artist. Um, it is light on the horror. It is a little light on the horror. Um, and unfortunately, I have had a habit of picking movies that I think are really good movies, but are light on the horror end. I actually knocked off a half a point of my own score because going back, it was lighter on the horror than I wanted it to be. I think it is interesting. You brought up the zombie dudes. It's not unusual, I think, anymore. It is still a rarity, but it does happen that you're meant to sympathize with the villain. And I think this is one. You're meant to sympathize with Sandy. She got hooked into this world, but could have done more to make you hate the dudes.
Yeah.
Or feel sorry for the dudes in some way. But it could have.
She came in like hot shit too. She's like, I'm gonna be a singer.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like, chill out. We've never heard you sing yet, lady. God, putting the cart in front of the horse. Sorry.
No, she's Maxine in X. I'm gonna be a star. So I did deduct a little bit because of the lack of horror, and I actually took another half point off because I felt they could have done more to make the ghost sympathetic or more to make the ghosts scarier. I guess that's light on the horror still. Anyway, I ended up at a 7. Long story short, I ended up at a 7.
Wow. I thought you were going to say 10.5.
Oh no, I'm not kissing up to this movie that much, but I am busting out Dave's calculator. We got 8. We are going to end up with an average score of 6, a little over 6, 6.3s.
6.3.
Oh. That's still above a 6 for an average score. And I think that works pretty well. I think that still says that this is a quality movie.
I hope a bunch of horror fans, or Edgar Wright, or Anya Joy Taylor come around. Did I say her name wrong? Anyways, Taylor Joy. Which way is it? Which way's the right way?
Anna Taylor-Joy?
Taylor Joy, okay. Come around and realize how low I rated it and how high you guys did, and they're like, get the one guy off there. Redo this episode.
They try to buy us out.
Yeah.
How much money would they have to offer us for us to pull a Yoko Ono on Chris and kick him out the band?
don't think there's any kind of money.
Oh,
Ah.
Jeff. Jeff is a man of integrity there.
And I feel like Jeff had the biggest like reaction to my 3.5. So he's like, "What the fuck? 3.5?"
You gotta have that balance. We can't all be like, yes, it was the greatest movie ever. We gotta have that balance
is
of,
true.
oh no.
This is our biggest spread, I think. I mean, you guys are only 1 point apart, but this is certainly our biggest kind of divergence in numbers.
It does
in a minute.
reaffirm that Jeff is definitely the wild card, and it might be what we were missing these seasons, because you and I we were always mostly like we would always be 1.1 or 1.5 apart from each other on an extreme 2, and here we're almost 4 apart, and Jeff out of the fucking blue is even more extreme positive for me.
Somebody rated higher than Dave.
I know, it's fucking insane.
Oh,
Just gonna have to go 10 the rest of the note all year long. The rest of the season. Dave, what do you rate it? 10 stars, no notes. Stars, no notes. Everything. I can't let Jeff be higher than me anymore.
Is Kaylee still here? What would Kaylee rate it? Kaylee, if you were still here, rate the movie. Or anybody watching, give us your numerical rating out of 10, because
Tell us where you're at. In the meantime, Kaylee, I liked it. I give it a 7.
Nice.
Great job. That Kaylee is a woman of taste. So,
who
is your guys' favorite filmmaker right now?
Modern or just
modern? Who is currently putting out shit? I got a short list. If you want a short list to pick from, Fede Alvarez. We got the Alien Romulus coming out, and Fede done it with Evil Dead. With what's the blind dude one? Kaylee likes M. Night. Okay, so Kaylee's sometimes does not have very good taste. Sorry, Kaylee. Mike Flanagan, I think is great.
I do too.
Don't you do it, Chris? Don't you mention that.
This is bullshit. I should be able to mention Blind Manor because we got to watch Last Night in Soho. I'd have rated that a fucking 12 because it's about the heart, whether it's a man or a woman's heart. That's all that matters. You can love a ghost. Ghost can love you. Shut up.
If Chris and I are ever in a murder-suicide, it's going to be over Bly Manor. Ty West. Ty West. I put Ty West in there. He's got shit out there. Ari Aster. How can you not put Ari Aster on that short list? And I did go ahead. I mentioned him in the pre-show tonight. I did go ahead and put Stephen Kostansky on there. Psycho Goreman and The Void, which are two totally different theme style movies, and he pulled them off so well. And I'm super waiting to watch Manborg. I might, when I go to bed half drunk tonight, I will be watching Manborg. I think it looks great.
I'm surprised you didn't say, probably gonna butcher his name, but Taika Waititi?
Taika Waititi?
Does he have some horror stuff? Jordan Peele?
It just said filmmaker. It didn't say it had to be horror.
Oh, wow.
It doesn't have to be horror. I would love to see Taika Waititi take on the horror genre. I think it would probably
be good.
Go more towards something super stylistic like this, or something more comic. But I could see him do that. I think he would do that well.
I'm really stuck between Fede Alvarez, horror speaking, Taika Waititi. Taika Waititi had a really great movie with Sam Neill and the little kid that was in Deadpool 2. I forget the name of that, but I loved that movie.
Hunt of the Wilder People?
Yes! That was good. That was a great movie.
It was. Sam Neill was
Put some zombies in that, I am fucking sold for the rest of my life. I'll never watch another movie. But Fede Alvarez, there was another one you said, Ari Aster. But I've not watched Beau is Afraid yet, so I'm afraid to That'll hurt my.
I don't
I
know
don't
that
know.
Beau is Afraid is actually horror
Is it
movie.
good though? Like, is it a good movie, or is it
It's,
like too spaced out and
Yeah.
weird? And
it's long.
well, some people would say Last Night in Soho was kind of long.
Yeah, some dumbheads. Uh, it is.
This is my show now. We're going to talk about Bly Manor. Welcome to the Bly Manor cast.
Have you ever? And I already know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask it anyway for the public. It's for the rabble, Chris. Have you ever had anxiety?
Have I ever? Oh, oh.
Have you ever had anxiety?
I thought you was making fun of me for a second. I'm like, I got
No,
some
I'm not
problems.
making fun of anybody who has had anxiety. Don't
but
cancel me, internet. Don't cancel
so
me. I'm not
yes,
making fun of anybody.
but that is
You,
the Beau is Afraid is
Bo is
anxiety.
is yes. I don't have. I'm generally like a cool cucumber dude, and it gave me genuine anxiety watching this fucking movie.
Is this a warning to not watch it? Because it's like if anything stretches you out too much, maybe not go into this one.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it'll help you deal with it. I'm I'm super on the fence. There's been a couple nights I'm like really kind of want to watch that again. Not enough to actually watch it again.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's if it wasn't 3 hours long of anxiety, if it was like an
3
hour and a half of
hours?
anxiety, I don't know it. I think it might be
Oh
though.
my god, that gave me anxiety immediately.
Kind of music.
That's longer than my Mega Blob trilogy that I'm putting together. 24 episodes, but they're only like 12 seconds each.
Oh, okay. It is not 3 hours, Chris. I just Googled it. I was afraid runtime 179 minutes. It is 1 minute shy of 3 hours. Because if it was exactly 3 hours, that actually might reduce some people's anxiety. The fact that it's 1 minute shy
all right.
probably gives some OCD people even more anxiety.
I had a person yell at me on YouTube for one of the horror house videos. One of the first ones we put up. They're like, I don't know what offends me more, this thing or the fact that your video is 1 second less than an hour or whatever it was. And I'm like, sorry.
Um, if you've never been afraid of a naked man falling into the bathtub with you, Bo is Afraid might give you that fear. You're unlocked.
What was I telling you about Sting? We was talking about Sting before we started. Sting or Splash.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I concede. I concede your point. I
Okay,
said fuck
okay.
Sting and who's afraid of Sting, but you're right. Who wants
Yeah.
a old man stinger splashing you?
Maybe he
And
smells
here we
old,
go.
Dave. Maybe he smells old.
I feel like Sting probably smells like mothballs.
Does grease face smell like mothballs? Dave, by the way, WrestleMania was this past weekend. Did your brother go both nights?
He did. I need to call him. I haven't talked to him.
I looked for anybody that looked like you and never wound up on quite on them.
Yeah, Jake is fat like me, and that's it. Wait, he is the milkman's baby. He's got the blonde hair, but that has turned more red as he's gotten older, especially in his beard.
You are so pixelated right now, by the way.
Probably would help if I quit moving. Am I encrypted?
You are becoming an NES game, I think. What kind of horror movie could that be where the person is slowly like just digitizing and turning into like a fucking sprite?
Videodrome.
Oh,
Like that could be, yeah, that could totally be like a modern Videodrome kind of thing going.
yeah.
And Dave,
that would be an A24 movie.
you are the star right now. Oh, you're back. You're back.
Coming back into
Anything else you want to talk about before we get on up out of here?
Whose pick is next? I think is it Chris is next?
Yep.
Who picked this one? Okay.
I picked this one. You're welcome.
Okay. We
America.
may, because
Welcome, internet.
Tim has been talking about an anime horror.
Okay.
And so we may have 4 screens next week. I don't know for sure though. But I'll keep everybody posted on my other podcast, the Bly Manor podcast.
Ugh. Unsubscribe to that.
It's about
Did start
lesbian
watching.
ghosts.
Okay, you had me at lesbian. I did start rewatching Hill House this week. I've been rewatching Hill House.
Did you watch the new one? What's the new one called? Usher, House of Usher. Something.
Oh yeah. I watched that. It was good. It was solid.
I need to watch that.
It was solid. It was most of the same people. Mike Flanagan does that whole thing.
Oh, you know what? Also, I want to go over. Hello. Well, not tonight, but I want to go over that Rolling Stone list of horror movies and see what we agree and what we don't agree with. That could be literally just a whole episode itself. We can rearrange it and make our own, and then make everybody in the chat watch our version of the truth. There was some deep cuts on that, though. I was kind of surprised about how even the higher you got, I figured the higher you'd get more, like, to a degree it was, but, like, still, there was some stuff higher up that I was, like, kind of surprising.
Shout out to Kaylee for that one. One that suggested that.
I did finger pistols, but, like, in the worst way. It felt aggressive. But I think that does it for another week. Final words. Who has a final word that they would like to share? Anybody?
Behoove.
What?
It's one of my favorite words. Behoove.
Behoove?
Yeah.
This came out of nowhere.
Behoove. Because, I mean...
Behoove. Would behoove you to comment and like and subscribe to the Horror House podcast. And like I said, comment. We enjoy feedback, and F has shown a propensity to reach out to things suggested in the chat, things Kaylee has suggested. So it's up, and maybe we'll pick something that you're wanting to hear us talk about.
Yeah.
And then your hopes can be dashed when Chris rates it way too low.
Because I will. Especially if it's not about love.
Lesbian love.
That only gives it an extra half point. But we are out, and we will see you guys next week. Unless you see us before then, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
Go watch. There are 2 really good Nuns Gone Wild movies out right now in the movie theaters.
All right.
Immaculate and First Omen.
Fuck,
we didn't even talk about First Omen.
What did you think of First Omen before we leave?
I thought it was great. Stella thought First Omen.
I said quick, like we're on a time limit. Take your time. I don't give a shit.
Stella, let me get it right. I'm probably going to get it backwards. I got a 50-50 chance here.
Did you see Satan messing with the static?
I think it's super cool. It's the devil trying to warn us. Jackie thought one of them was better. I think Jackie liked First Omen better, and Stella liked Immaculate better. I can't break the tie here because I'm not sure yet. What I definitely, at the end, spoiler alert, I'm going to give a 5 seconds countdown on the spoiler alert for the First Omen. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You had playing time. You were warned. The First Omen is a prequel to the Omen movies.
Is this a joke? Are you...
In case you didn't know that for sure, the last scene of the movie, this priest comes in and he says, they gave the boy a name. His name, zoom in on his fucking face, is Damien. And like,
God.
I just imagine some fucking knuckle chump is in the movie theater going, what?
Throws his popcorn,
Tied to the fucking omen.
grabs his date. He's like, "What the fuck is this?"
Popcorn goes fucking flying. What the fuck?
So I don't even. Okay, it doesn't. I don't really even know what this movie's about. If it's a prequel to The Omen, because The Omen's about Damien. So what the fuck is it about?
So
The
Not
conception
David
of Damien? Is this?
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Omen
That's fine.
begins. Omen begins with death of the child, and he gets replaced. The nuns bring in a replacement baby, and they tell him, they tell Gregory Peck, well, your baby died. We have a replacement baby whose mom died in childbirth, and you don't even have to tell your wife. She's gonna go home with the baby. That's all you need to know. That's all she needs to know. And calamity ensues. Calamity or hilarity, depending on.
Brought to you by the Farley brothers. The next Omen. Hijinks and family fun and whimsy ensue.
Whimsy.
It's all for you, Damien, and then slams a pie in his own face.
All right. But you recommend it. You recommend the first Omen.
I recommend First Omen. I recommend Immaculate. I recommend Imaginary that we bought on Vudu this week. I thought it was pretty cool. It's solid. If not great, it's solid.
But not Night Swim.
I
see the confliction in your face immediately. Just say you don't recommend it. You don't owe nothing to nobody, Dave.
No, but they worked so hard on this. And U.S. Agent is in it.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, Wyatt Russell is in it.
Oh, okay,
so,
okay.
it's like, yeah.
But you don't have to recommend it. You don't have to. You can say no. Say no, Dave. Say no one time. Rated a 2. Rated a 2.
If you don't have anything else to watch,
come to my side. Do it. Do it.
It's free on the cock. So, I mean, that's always a bonus.
I wonder if I could put in a Nightbot command to where if I did exclamation the cock, it would bring up a Peacock like subscription thing, and that like Horror House 3 get Peacock Premium for $5.98. It's $5.99, but like save a penny. That'd be rad.
The Walmart version of it.
I can tell I've drank one more than I usually drink because I'm just rambling about random shit now. So we will. Kylie's already left 4 years ago. Later, guys.
Reviewer.
Do your duty.
Follow us, do all that stuff, and we'll see you guys next Thursday.
Hate, comment, let us know. We love the feedback.
Unless you watch this in the future and not a Thursday. I don't know what you're doing.